Our coverage continuing now with Hofstra University law professor James Sample. Thank you very much for talking with us.
James, good to have you with us again. Most shocking to you about these allegations against Mayor Adams?
It's good to be with both of you. The thing that is most shocking to me is actually the matching funds and the abuse of New York City's campaign finance matching program, which is intended to elevate the voice, elevate the political voices of average New Yorkers, small donor matching contributions. You give $250, the public taxpayers match that up to an 8-to-1 match, so you get $2,000. And if you read this indictment, one of the most profound statements is the description of the straw donor dynamic. And we often hear that phrase. What is a straw donor? It essentially means that the true contributors of the actual money involved are contributing their resources through nominal donors, essentially shell people. Those shell people, if you will, are falsely certifying that they're contributing their own money. And the result of those false certifications is that taxpayer dollars get spent on the campaign. What does that mean in plain, simple English? It means cheating in an election campaign, and it means defrauding the people of New York. And the sentence on page 2 of the indictment is just staggering. As a result of those false certifications, Adams' 2021 mayoral campaign received more than $10 million in public funds. That is staggering. And if you're the Southern District of New York, if you're Damian Williams, just think about the recent period. Sam Bankman-Fried, Senator Menendez, and now Mayor Eric Adams. When it comes to rooting out financial misdeeds, Damian Williams doesn't play.
Can you break down the legal ramifications that Adams is facing, particularly when it comes to campaign finance laws?
Well, there's multiple different versions of this. It appears that particularly because, and this is a point that you and Chris have mentioned already multiple times today during your coverage, but particularly because the money here is coming in many instances from foreign nationals and foreign governments, and that there does seem to be an express quid pro quo. There's sort of levels of corruption, if you will, and levels of scrutiny in our campaign finance system. Domestic corruption is a huge problem, but foreign corruption is even more of a problem. It's especially a problem. And so we have heightened standards, greater levels of scrutiny. And when you're talking about taking money from foreign nationals and foreign governments, I'm looking here at page 19 of the indictment. It says Adams continued to conceal benefits from the foreign nationals seeking to gain influence over them. And an Adams staffer texts Adams to be on the safe side, please delete all messages you send me. Adams, end quote. Adams responded, quote, always do, end quote. That speaks to a mens rea. It speaks to a mental state of understanding the culpability of what's involved. And what is the Turkish government getting in exchange if you take these allegations at face value? Well, there's one story in which it says that Adams had been consorting with an anti-government Turkish movement, or a center that was associated with that movement. The Turkish official told Adams to stop associating with the center, or he would no longer receive Turkish support. Quote, in the indictment, Adams acquiesced. That's foreign influence in the affairs of New York City.
You know, it kind of goes back to the Menendez trial. It's like when you bring in foreign governments and you hear about a U.S. senator acting as a foreign agent for another country, Egypt in that case, it kind of brings it into new light. And then, as you mentioned here, you know, with Turkey playing such an influential role in this indictment, it just makes it even more disturbing. Let me ask you how he can effectively execute his job as mayor of this city. We know the court of public opinion obviously has tremendous influence before these cases are even tried. How does this, even at Gracie Mansion, when he came down for that preemptive press conference, there was active people there yelling, and there were protests, and there was a bit of a ruckus. I mean, this is what he's going to now deal with. How is that going to affect how he can execute his job?
Yeah, Chris, that is so true. And that press conference in front of Gracie Mansion was wild. I think I don't know if that's a term of art, but that's essentially what it was. And it speaks to a combative, pugnacious approach. And you think about this, and we talked about this morning, you don't think Donald Trump and Eric Adams have a whole lot in common. But in a sense, Eric Adams is pulling plays right out of the Donald Trump playbook. Oh, this is, in one instance, we hear it called a witch hunt. And then Eric Adams today says, I've had a target on my back. We've had mayors in New York City. We've had 110 mayors in the history of this city. We've never had one indicted. all of this talk about, is the Justice Department being weaponized? Is this DOJ or SDNY going after parties for political reasons? Eric Adams is a Democrat. Donald Trump in the January 6 cases or the classified documents cases, he's obviously the leading figure in the Republican Party. To do the job of mayor of New York City while having to deal with all of this, and you've already seen it when you talk about 2 deputy mayors have stepped down. His chief counsel, one of his closest advisors has stepped down. The scope of the chaos that is engulfing this administration is staggering, but he obviously is taking an approach that says we're going to fight. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yes, we will. We've been talking with Marsha Kramer about this at the desk here all morning. We're going to see what some of the other influential New York politicians have to say about this as to how far he tends to fight this. James, thank you once again. Always great to talk with you.
Likewise.